So I realized that my rear suspension was wrong, and what was happening is that the swivels on the bottom of the Fox shocks were binding up, and I couldn't understand why when I jump on the shocks I'd hit like a bind, or like I was bottoming out on something. The back would go up and down, but it only goes so far, and then when I put the batteries in it, I would jump up and down on it and it just wouldn't move. And that's when I realized that the shocks were in a bind due to the little turnbuckle or little rod end pieces down here. So I had to go and cut those all off, and I'm in the process of trying to put them in such a way that I'm paying attention to how the rod ends are doing. So I crank them over to one way or one direction, and then when this piece comes up, they ride up like that and they don't bind. So that's what I've got right now. I need to get the upper one put back in, and just, yeah, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, or in this case 4 or 5 steps back to get this back where it needs to go. And then on these I need to cut off these wings and actually extend them out so I can pull this whole wing out further. And I'm going to do that so I can fit 2 batteries side by side, and that way I'll get 4 batteries, or 2 batteries there, 2 batteries on their side, and I'll have 1 battery sitting right there behind the driver. So that will bring the CG lower and get rid of the 3, or what I have, 3 batteries up here. I'll only have 1 up here now. Alright, so I've got the lower one tacked on, and I've got the upper one in position, and I'm trying to protect the shocks with a cotton sheet. So what could go wrong? So at least I got the water there to put out the fire when it starts, not if, but when. So away we go. Need to tack this guy on because I screwed up that tack there. Okay, no fire so far. It's always good. A little bit of smoking. Get a tack there too. Okay. All right, hot glue complete. Yes. And fire. No. Yeah, good hot glue. Weld it is not, hot glue it is. So now I have 1 suspension mount done. Hopefully it is correct. I don't really want to do it over again, but if I got to, I got to. And I actually had to build a couple other parts because I cut them too short. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Yeah, this is going to come out, so that's good. All right, so it looks like I got that one done right, so I'm happy. Okay, I made a little jig to figure out where I need to put the second one. Getting it lined up in place. Trying not to weld anything too well because I've had to take so many things off. And now I'm just trying to tack stuff on decently. Okay, hot glued in 4 spots. That's pretty good. Alrighty. Alright, yeah. All right, that goes hot glued on. Good old hot glue tex. All right, so that's done. Now I need to make the pieces that go up underneath here. So I've already done that over there. Just got to duplicate that. There. So that's that. Just some pieces coming down to get me the shock where I need it to be, so I can get the travel that I want. And the thing I did the first time I made this is I wasn't paying attention to the location of this guy and the twist of it, because that's what got me on the last one, is that they were binding out and the shocks were just locking up. So now I'm trying to pay attention to all that stuff. And like you can see this one down here, that one's cranked over to one way, the extreme. But what happens is when this thing comes up, it lifts up like that. So it's down like that, it lifts up. And so when it lifts up, it's going to go horizontal on the knuckle down there, the right end. I think I got everything where I want it. One way to find out, weld it all up, and then cut it off if you need to. Oh, I'm actually going to weld that on a little bit better now. Pull the shock off. Got my water just in case, or when it catches on fire. Okay, at least that's not going to come off too easy. That is definitely hot glued. Let me just do a little more right there. Awesome. All right, let me put some tires on it and see how it works. All right, and I took a little bit of air out of this shock just because I want to see how much shock or pressure was in it. I didn't read the instructions or the manual. It says it comes with 200 psi, and so I let a little bit of the air out. That's why it's looking a little bit off. But feeling how the shocks are, what the spring rate is too constant over the entire stroke. So what I need to do is I need to add oil so that when the shock compresses, the pressure in the shock goes up to increase the spring rate. So I can do that later. But now when I watch the rod ends, they're not bottoming out, and the shock travel is a whole lot more than it was before. But I have it right now where the full extension of the shock is bottoming out the CV joint. So I'm gonna have to put limiting straps on there, which is fine. The shocks aren't made to take tension anyway. That's what the manual says. So I got to put limiting straps on anyway. And that's kind of what these are doing. This one's way loose. What I wanted to see is tape measure. So full up. What have I got? Only about 9.5 inches of ground clearance, which isn't stellar. And the problem is I'm using Fiat 500 CV joints, which are not high articulating CV joints. Nine going down to 5. That's just 4 inches of travel right there, which isn't a whole lot. But okay, well, I got the shocks fixed, so that's what my goal was, to fix that, because that was a problem. So before, I wasn't all the way up when I thought I was, and now I've got 11 inches from there, and that is that wheel's off the ground. That's basically off the ground. So right now, at basically full extension. Actually, wait, no, that's wrong. Sorry. That didn't go down much. That didn't go down at all. So at CV's bottomed out, I'm at 12 inches of ground clearance. But I will go down to 11 inches. And then tighten up the straps. 11 inches, good enough. So I can get up there. CV still rotate. Doing strap. Something fell. Whatever. So really, it's 11 inches to. It's probably tape measure. Yep. 11 inches to wherever it goes. Once you get on it. Yeah. Just. So I need to increase the spring rate by, that's 6, probably 5. 11 to 5. What is that? 5, 6 inches? 6 inches travel. Yeah. But I can go more. I can definitely go down more. I just can't compress it more because the CVs are just a little bit canted up. Oof, gimbal's not working right. So you can see CVs are canted up a little bit, so I can go down a whole lot more. I could probably bottom out all the way if I go down hard enough. That's what makes me wonder about the spring rate. So let's see how much goes down when I jump on it. And you can see it's canted to the left a little bit because this shock is low. All right, so I cut off the wings, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this guy off also, right there and right there. What's up, Bobo? What's up? Just because I'm going to go back and put in a regular one of these that's just straight going from here to here, and that will take this little knee out and give me another inch or so. So I don't need to make the wings as wide. But look at that weld job. My goodness. It's like that on the other side too. I guess it's good I'm doing this so I can see, yeah, I can see air on the back side of this one too. So bad. Oh, so bad. All right, so cut off the wings. I think I already said that. Now I'm just going in there and grinding everything smoothish as possible. And I also cut out this member right here that was coming out and up. That was going to give me, was going to interfere with the batteries and everything. So I'm just going to put another one in that's straight going up and down. Or what I might do is just put 2 if I come up at an angle like that, that will still interfere with my battery a little bit. What I was thinking about doing is possibly having it come up and like maybe bend the pipe so it comes up and in, just so that if the battery ever does try to slide into the driver, it's got some protection before they explode and catch on fire. Alright, so I got all of these welds cut off and smoothed. The good thing is grinding down bad welds is a whole lot easier than grinding down good welds, so that wasn't that hard. Over here, I'm cutting off the rear suspension or the rear shocks again, and the reason I'm doing it is because the other day, well, when I did it, I said, well, I don't want the CV joints to go to maximum angle when the shocks fully extend. So I pulled the CVs, or I pulled the suspension up like half an inch or an inch so that the CVs would not be at full extension. And then I was like, well, I read the instructions on the shocks, and they said, don't let the shocks take extension loads. So you need limit straps. So I was like, all right, well, now I need to compress the shocks a little bit so that they don't go to full extension. And I was like, well, crap, I already took a little bit of what little bit of suspension articulation I have out of the CV joint because I lifted up a little bit. And so I was like, well, let me just go back and redo everything, because I've got plenty of shock travel. I've got like 10 inches or 12 inches of, I got like 12 inches of shock travel, and I'm only using 10 here. So 10 maximum, I think it's what I got, with these off-the-shelf Fiat 500 non-high articulation CVs. So I am going back and putting the suspension so that when it is full extension, the shocks are fully extended, so that it's easy also to put the shocks in and out to where I don't need to jiggle the suspension just right, because I'm going to have the limit straps pulled up so that I'm an inch away from max CV articulation. Alright, I hope this is the last time I do this. But on the plus side, steel is fantastic material to work with. If you cut too much off, it's fine. You can weld more on. I think there's a hole in that weld right there, but all those welds need to be redone by someone who actually knows what they're doing. I just hot glued all that stuff on there. Alright, back to work. Alright, the joy of having a drill press is you can do this with a 1/2 inch drill bit. Oh. Load spike detected. I need to sharpen this drill bit apparently. There we go. But so much easier doing that with the drill press than by hand. Alright, so got the new tabs welded on. So you can see the near one and the far one. Just got it tacked on. I'm gonna do a little bit better job of tacking them. But, you know, 3/4 of a day's work. Got those on. Just fitting back and forth, cut, back, you know, just back and forth a lot of time to get it just right. But now the suspension's all the way down. I can pull the pins out no problem, so everything is just sitting there, just relaxed at full extension, and that's what I wanted. And then the other thing I also did is I came back and sanded this down. This was really sharp a while ago. This is where there was a flag attachment. But alright, I'm gonna go finish tacking those on a little bit better. Just put 2 tacks on all of them just so they're all a little stable.